Time to round up a big story from the week. Obamacare is at a legal crossroads as one federal court guts a central part of the law while another upholds it. An appeals court ruled the financial premium subsidies received by millions can only be provided in states with their own insurance markets. Texas does not have its own market, but a court in Virginia came to the opposite conclusion. Consumers will keep getting financial aid as the White House appeals. So the Affordable Care Act is likely to land in front of the Supreme Court justices yet again. And this is our topic this half hour. We want to hear from you on Facebook or Twitter. Joining us live in the newsroom is our legal analyst, Chris Tritico, our news analyst, Mustafa Tamiz, and public policy analyst, Jackie Bally. All right, where do you guys see this one going now?
Well, it has to go back to the U.S. Supreme Court. There's jurisdiction in the Supreme Court when courts of appeal, federal courts of appeal, come to opposite decisions on the same law. Last week was a very interesting week when the first appellate court came out and said that the law did not allow for subsidies from the government webpage, and all the conservatives went, yay! And then about 8 hours later, the other court came in and said, no, that's not true. And they went, oh. And so we're going to have to see where this thing goes, but it lands back in the U.S. Supreme Court, Jackie Bally, and I think that it lands right on the shoulders of Chief Justice John Roberts. He voted to save Obamacare the first time. If he rules with the conservatives on this one, it kills Obamacare. That's why I think he comes back around and saves it again.
I hope he doesn't, but I think the fact that we have so many conflicting viewpoints just from our justices tells a lot of us how flawed this law is. And he did save it last time. I hope.
Well, the first time,
and I hope this time around he does agree with the conservatives and does not save it, because this is going to continue to happen. Every time we've pushed back so many options and items in this law, and every time it comes back, we're going to see it challenged in court. And you're going to see
that's
our
the way
justices,
every law is, though, isn't it?
Not like this one, and not when you have a government running a major billion-dollar policy. And so you're going to continue to see this coming up over and over again. So even if he does save it this time, he's going to have to look at it again.
Don't you think this falls right on John Roberts' shoulders?
Yeah, and the challenge with it is just like this, our state didn't create an exchange. We also don't take the Medicaid expansion. There's millions of people now that are getting subsidy. 200,000 people in Houston, Harris County area that have health insurance now that didn't have it before. 80% of them get some kind of a subsidy. So if this goes away, millions of people, 8 million people that have got this health insurance will be affected by it. So,
which is why John Roberts probably, I mean, we can't say what he's going to do, but that's why he would look back at saying, I can't let this go.
Well, he can't let this go. And also, if you look at prior precedent, we've always upheld the intent of Congress is for a universal law. And so this one line that says it won't take for a state exchange is not relevant.
Right.
I think they'll take it up.
Let me go to Sally. She's monitoring our social media.
Yeah, let's take a look at Twitter, guys. We have Jamal saying, oh, off to the Supreme Court we go. And then Mary says, she's retweeting somebody. She says, I think the Supreme Court is going to get another shot to void Obamacare. Justice Roberts, be smart.
Well, and I think everybody's honing in on what I honed in on, because Justice Roberts, had he voted with the conservatives the first time around, Obamacare would have been ruled unconstitutional. He voted to save it, and that's why I think that he comes back around this time. He says, I already voted once, I'm not going to kill it this time.
Well, he's going to have many different opportunities whenever the employer mandate comes up and other mandates that have been delayed. When they come up, it's going to be challenged. You're going to see this law continue to be challenged. And the numbers that we hear from the liberals, they're saying, oh, these people have never had insurance before. Even Obama's administration have said that number, they're not sure if people were dropped because of the nightmare they had at the very beginning and then came back on. They're also saying a significant portion of them have not paid, which is going to be really what is an indicative measure of this law being productive and this law being actually a good law. And so the numbers that we're hearing, even the Obama administration, they're saying those are not firm numbers.
But that doesn't change Justice Roberts' opinion. What Jackie's saying doesn't change Justice Roberts' opinion that Congress's intent was to have this law.
Well, the law, from an intent standpoint, Congress wanted the subsidies for everybody, and there's no one that can argue that on either side. but the Republicans are now suing the president for the same thing that they were trying to do, which was to hold employer mandate. Rice University just released a study that says that overall cost of health care is coming down because of Obamacare. More than 8 million people signed up for it when we thought that that we were going to hit those numbers. So everything that has been put forward in terms of Obamacare, it has outperformed even the president's predictions.
At the end of the day, Jackie, even if there's a portion, and I concede that there is, I don't know what the number is, there's a portion of people who were dropped, had to rebuy, but there's still 8 million people that signed up through these exchanges, whether it's the federal government or the state exchanges. It's going to be very hard for the Supreme Court to say we're not doing this anymore.
And it's not 8 million people who have paid, and that's, again, that's a key measure, key indicative measure. And for my colleague to say that everyone agrees that it's a successful measure, he's clearly not talking to doctors and hospital administrators, because they are definitely still in opposition of Obamacare, and the approval rating is still very low.
All right, we're going to have to leave it right there. We'll be back next week, Sally, wrapping up some really good stories.
Okay, we'll see you then. Have a good Sunday, everybody.